The morning sun streamed through the glass walls of Cole Industries, one of the most successful tech firms in the city. Inside, Ethan Cole, the company's 36-year-old CEO, leaned over his desk, exhausted. His phone buzzed with endless notifications, board meetings, investor calls, deadlines, but one message stood out. Reminder: Lily's new music teacher arrives at 4 p.m. He smiled faintly. His daughter, Lily, was only 7, bright, curious, but since her mother's passing 2 years ago, the house had grown quiet. Music had once filled their home. His late wife used to play piano while Lily sang softly beside her. After she died, Lily wouldn't touch a note again. Ethan wanted that music back in her life. He had told his assistant, find the best music teacher in the city, someone who can reach her. At 4 p.m. sharp, a small, nervous knock echoed at his door. When Ethan opened it, he froze. A young woman stood there, her clothes simple and slightly worn, her guitar case covered in stickers and scratches. Her brown hair was loosely tied back, and her eyes carried the tiredness of someone who had seen too many sleepless nights. "Hi, Mr. Cole, I'm Mia Evans, the new music teacher." Ethan blinked. This wasn't what he expected. He had envisioned someone older, sophisticated, perhaps from the conservatory his assistant mentioned. Still, before he could question it, Lily ran into the hallway, her eyes lighting up at the sight of the guitar. "Daddy," she brought a guitar. Mia smiled softly. "Would you like to hear something before we start?" She sat on the edge of the couch, strumming a few soft chords. Her voice floated through the room, simple, warm, full of feeling. Lily's smile widened. Ethan, however, still stood confused. He pulled his assistant aside to whisper, "Are you sure she's the right teacher?" His assistant's eyes widened as she checked her tablet. "Oh no, sir, there's been a mistake. She's not the certified instructor. She was on a local artist list. I must have mixed up the emails." Ethan sighed deeply, but then he glanced back at Lily, laughing, humming, her eyes bright again. "Maybe this mistake wasn't all bad. Let her stay," he said quietly, "just for one lesson." And just like that, a small mistake began to change everything. The next day, Ethan came home early. The sound of music, real, joyful music, echoed through the hallways. He followed the sound and found Mia sitting cross-legged on the floor with Lily beside her, both surrounded by small percussion instruments and sheets of colored paper. Instead of notes, Mia explained, "We'll paint the feelings of the song." Lily giggled, drawing a swirl of blue and yellow. "This one sounds like sunshine." Ethan leaned against the doorway, quietly watching. For the first time in months, his daughter's laughter didn't sound forced, it sounded free. Mia noticed him and smiled. "We're making music our way. You don't follow the usual methods." Ethan asked. Mia shrugged. "Music isn't about perfection. It's about emotion. Once she feels it, the notes will follow." Lily looked up proudly. "Daddy, she says I don't have to be perfect, just happy." Those words hit him harder than he expected. His late wife used to say the same thing. As the days passed, Mia became a regular visitor. She brought simple songs, stories about her guitar, and even let Lily write her own lyrics. Their lessons were messy, loud, and imperfect, but they filled the house with life again. Ethan often watched from a distance, pretending to read his emails while his heart quietly healed along with his daughter's. One evening after Lily had gone to bed, Ethan found Mia sitting quietly at the piano, her fingers tracing the keys but not playing. "You play beautifully," he said softly. She jumped slightly, embarrassed. "I was just remembering," he smiled. "You've done something incredible for Lily." She's smiling again. "I don't think I've heard her laugh like that since." He trailed off, unable to finish. Mia turned to him, her expression gentle. "You don't have to say it. I can feel the love this house still carries." Ethan hesitated. "Mia, can I ask you something? Why did you become a music teacher?" She looked down, twisting her fingers nervously. "I didn't," she admitted. "I'm not really a teacher." Ethan blinked. "You're not?" Mia sighed. "My mom was sick for years. I used to play music for her. It was the only thing that made her smile. When she passed, I couldn't afford college or certifications, so I just played wherever I could, on the streets, in cafes, at parks. Sometimes people listened, sometimes they didn't." She looked up, tears glistening in her eyes. "When your assistant called, I thought maybe this was a chance to make something of it. I didn't mean to deceive you." Ethan was silent for a moment. Then he smiled softly. "You didn't deceive anyone, Mia. You've done more for Lily than any professional could. You gave her joy again. For a long moment, they just sat there, two people, both carrying losses, both slowly finding light again. Weeks later, the school announced a talent night. Parents were encouraged to attend. Ethan assumed Lily wouldn't participate, but he was wrong. She came running into his office one afternoon holding a flyer. "Daddy, I'm going to sing, and Miss Mia is going to play with me." Ethan blinked in disbelief. "You're performing?" Lily nodded proudly. "Miss Mia says music is brave. Mommy would want me to be brave." The night of the performance, Ethan sat in the front row of the auditorium, his heart pounding. Children sang, danced, and played instruments, but he couldn't focus. Finally, Lily's name was called. She walked on stage, a little nervous, clutching the microphone. Mia followed behind her with the guitar. The lights dimmed. The first note rang out soft, trembling. But then Lily began to sing. Her voice wasn't perfect. It wavered at times, but it carried something deeper emotion. Halfway through the song, she turned to Mia, who smiled and joined in harmony. The auditorium fell silent, every parent holding their breath as the melody filled the room with warmth, love, and remembrance. When the last chord faded, there was a pause, and then thunderous applause. Ethan's vision blurred with tears. He had never been prouder. He looked up at Mia, her eyes shining, her expression full of quiet pride, and realized something profound. She hadn't just taught Lily to sing. She had taught her to heal. The next morning, the house felt different, lighter, full of energy. Lily ran around singing the same song, laughing as she spun in circles. Ethan found Mia in the garden, tuning her guitar. He smiled. "You've changed our world, you know." She looked up, slightly embarrassed. "I just helped her find her voice again." He shook his head. "You helped both of us." After a pause, he added, "I want you to stay, Mia, not just as Lily's teacher, but as part of our family." Mia froze, her eyes filling with tears. "Ethan, he raised a hand gently. "No pressure, just think about it. But I believe the best things in life come from the mistakes we never meant to make." Lily's laughter echoed behind them. She ran into the garden, holding her tiny ukulele. "Miss Mia, let's play our sunshine song." Mia smiled, wiping her eyes. "Always, sweetheart." They sat together under the warm afternoon sun. Lily strumming wildly, Mia guiding her, and Ethan joining on the piano inside the open patio doors. For the first time in years, the Cole home was alive again, with music, laughter, and something even deeper, love reborn through kindness. As the final rays of light faded, Ethan looked at the two people who had unknowingly mended his heart and whispered, "Sometimes the wrong person is exactly who you needed all along." And in that moment, surrounded by melody and warmth, everything finally felt right. The story of single dad CEO accidentally hires wrong music teacher for his daughter is a touching reminder that life's most beautiful moments often come from unexpected mistakes. What began as a simple mix-up between two people from completely different worlds, a wealthy, lonely CEO and a struggling street musician, evolved into a journey of healing, love, and rediscovery. Through Mia's genuine compassion and unconventional way of teaching, Ethan's daughter, Lily, not only found her voice again, but also found joy in living, a joy that her father had long buried beneath his grief and responsibilities. Mia's music became more than sound. It became a bridge that connected broken hearts and filled a silent home with laughter once more. Ethan learned that success isn't measured by power or wealth, but by the moments of kindness that restore faith in life. And Mia discovered that her true purpose was never about perfection. It was about touching lives with her heart. In the end, what began as a mistake turned into a miracle. The wrong hire became the right person, and together they composed a new melody of love, hope, and family. Moral: sometimes the best chapters of our lives start with the accidents we never planned. What feels like a wrong turn might just lead you exactly where you were meant to be.